Hello and welcome to Art Talk, the place where we agree to disagree, if we disagree at all.
Hi, Renee. And I must say, I kind of know how to disagree with you. The love and the beauty of Reiki often gets lost in talking.
And this is, I think, why it's important that, yes, there is the practice, but we also need to share it. We have a responsibility to contribute to this coexistence.
Jein is a beautiful German word. Yes and no. Yes and no. But you're talking about Portugal, and that's exactly what I mean. They may practice it slightly different from ours. However, for me, the sense, the essence, not the sense, the essence of it is the same. It's Reiki. And yes, they also have been to the conference also, where science and different things were talked about, and that's very important. I agree with that. However, it's just not my path anymore.
But not without giving you the opportunity to have the last word, as usual.
Okay, as usual, I agree to disagree.
Don't you sometimes find those many hats you're wearing contradictory to each other?
Well, no. So the idea within the Reiki methods is actually to enhance the coherence of the body with our hands. That's the main point.
I, as a layperson, will see this drawing as a palm tree, but you, as a scientist,
and usually we interpret this heat coming with this heat as originator, as originating from the energy we transmit somehow, but this interpretation is not correct actually. We shouldn't actually think about energy. Reiki is not really an energy. So if you want to create order within yourself, strangely, you have to create disorder outside of yourself, which is quite weird somehow. But if you don't do that,
it's all about it.
Yeah, if you don't do that, you will be in contradiction with the second law of thermodynamics.
I'll tell her.
You know what? I actually quite like the one that it is based on fact. Because, as you know, I'm nothing gets me more cross than belief systems.
Wait a minute. I don't disagree with you. I'm happy to go there. But first, what do you mean with belief systems? What's wrong? What's wrong in believing in Jesus Christ? I mean, what do you mean with belief systems?
You know what? I have no issue with belief systems as such, but my issue is more when my belief system is superior to your belief system. I have a big issue with that.
And it's like, dude, I'm not saying you did slavery. Calm down. You know what I mean?
It's like sexism as well. You know, all the isms, as I call it. It's just based on ignorance because I don't know somebody from that color or I don't know somebody from that religion. So therefore I dismiss it or I don't understand it. And then part of this is the deepening of your understanding. And so, like you say, with talking, when you talk to somebody who's been at the other end of the stick, then you really start to experience more empathy and compassion with that person.
But finding authenticity in ourselves and walking our own talk, I truly believe is an important measure to come to an end of discrimination, whether that's racial, gender, what other ism there is out there in the world.
I think unconditional for me means something that is wholesome, something that does not concentrate on any particular criteria, and it's just all-encompassing. It just embraces everything. It's there. human sphere of this question comes to me in the most difficult way, because as a human being, I am constantly torn between conditional and unconditional. But you will get what you need, just like in Rolling Stones song. You don't always get what you want, but you surely get everything you need.
So my challenge really is, how do I detect in myself whether I am in this spot of unconditionality or not? You mentioned the challenge we are having. How do you know that you have volunteered coming from the right spot with the right intention, being as close to unconditionality or not? How do you know that? How can you judge that?
And that's a lesson. It is a lesson that you had something in you that wasn't quite unconditional. And you have to expect that the other person will turn around and give you abuse for you being kind. And that very often happens. Perhaps it wasn't appropriate for the person.
I was talking to my son, explaining him, look, I talk about male vulnerability with René. And he said, what? But then basically said spontaneously about vulnerability. I'm very grateful that you as a father always talked about your vulnerability. So you talked openly, or I talked openly in the presence of my son and my wife about problems I have, fears I have, somehow that I am not a perfect person. And he said that was so helpful for him, that he got also the impression of an imperfect father. So also the father is struggling. Also the father does not always have answers. And in some cases, even the father has tears in his eyes. And he said the benefit, the strong benefit for him was that it took a lot of pressure for him from his shoulders.
So for me, it's more the color of myself would be creative word to describe what integrity is for me.
Integrity in the sense of wholeness, of untouchedness, in the sense of I respect your integrity as a human being. I don't want to transgress and inflict pain on you.
Yeah, we agree quite a lot. I'm surprised. Yes. So I would say also integrity doesn't mean to never change your mind. So, for example, a person goes in the middle of the road, but has the tendency always to go a little bit to the right. Then I have to say this person, for staying in the middle of the road, go more left. The other person goes in the middle of the road, but has the tendency a little bit to go too much to the left. So this person, I have to say, go more to the right. So the opposite of what I said to the first student, but with the same goal that the person goes in the middle of the road.
There's this inner connection to source, and when people are realizing their projects really well as source persons, who I refer to as sources, they're usually in contact with something related to this inner source or field.
And I believe in shared responsibility, flat hierarchies, shared responsibilities. And here you come, and you're making one person basically, and we consider each other all equal, but you're basically suggesting that there is one single individual. Isn't that right?
So everybody is equal in the potential to form an initiative, or to start an initiative. But if you look in detail at each initiative, there's one person that actually starts it, always. So there aren't 20 people that all start something at the same time. So one of the first source principle is that there's an order in any initiative.
Yes, perseverance is something very linear to all relations. So if we think about a friendship, yes, we have the loyalty and we have agreements and disagreements, but persevering in a friendship is something that it's not very easy, because we change our thoughts, we change the ways we feel. But if we look to ourselves, to our deep selves, and we see something that is very valuable here, then we find what is really important to this perseverance. And that is a kind of a love and a passion. Sometimes we question ourselves, what is my role here in life? And I understand that my role is something that we have inside ourselves since we were born. So this kind of vision is like that kind of shining light that guides me throughout my life. And through that light, I see my mission. So that vision enlightens my mission.
Whose authority is the judge over whether I am following my integrity or not?
So the importance here is perseverance, right? Perseverance in the right thing to do.